Hey Gwenters, welcome back for another episode of Gone Gwenting. So on Sum Up Sunday I prefaced this a little bit, but I really wanted to do some more seasonal matches. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, this is a stressful time, and sometimes you need to play some Gwent matches that are competitive, difficult, force your mind to work, but that you're not entirely stressed about moving up on ladder. Also, you might need to work on your seasonal matches in order to get some better rewards. All of those things might be true. I also think they're especially good for when you're working on Journey. So before I even get into this deck, I just want to address this. But make sure you're constantly working on your Journey, even if it's not right away. Just be making some progress. I've fallen a little bit behind on some of these, but just like finish 3 matches, play 10 alchemy cards, kill 10, 15 units, etc., etc. So I'm still stuck in week 2. You can complete week 2 and move on to week 3. So I'm going to be working on that. I was out of town for a few days, so that's what I'm going to be working on. But a great way to do that without the stress of being pushed back or falling back, getting your 4 wins and losing your 5th one, so you fall back again and have to blah, 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 blah. All of that's going to be really stressful. We are going to work on a speed deck. And I felt like the greatest challenge was for Northern Realms because so many of those cards have orders. So we're going to do something a little crazy. We're going to be running basically a Ragnar shield package with Vandegrift and Ciri as carryovers. We've got Kira Metz to play on all of these 6, 6, 7, 8. I mean, a couple of 5s, 6 in the Immortals. I mean, we got a bunch of just like really high point value units that Kira's going to play off of. Mata's going to get us whatever 9 we're missing. Because, look, I mean, we are running 6 9s in this deck. 2 8s. And then, like, is this 7? No, 6 7s. So almost 7 7s. Plus San Real, Immortal Cavalry. And then we got our generic boosters. And basically the idea behind this deck is how can we play the... Oh, and I forgot to swap this out. I had previously been thinking of running a slightly different deck. So we'll be running Tridum, and then Centurion Artificer can be in here as well. Basically, the Tridum's just going to play next to Drummers. You can play next to Honest Stringer. You can play next to Egmund. You can play next to Pastodi. So we have a bunch of boost receivers, but basically like a bunch of stuff that we can just set it and forget it. And that's kind of the key to this seasonal mode. If you haven't played it much, or you're getting really stressed out about it, pick a leader ability like Vicious Slash, where you can schedule the cards that you play in your mind the same round as the leader ability. And we're going to jump into a game here just to show you how kind of complex it is to make these thoughts and to still keep playing on time. So make sure, one thing I would like to say to the developers, please, when I have selected a game mode, keep it on that as the pre-selected game mode for my next game. If I ever want to change, I can easily go over here and change to do that. But when I've selected Battle Rush, I just want to do that. Anyway, leave your comments, thoughts below, all that good stuff. In this loading screen, as always, please subscribe, please like. If you don't like this video, you hate seasonal, leave a dislike. Just leave a comment as to what it was so that I can understand what it was that you didn't like, and I can change my future videos around that. But basically, I think the biggest things to think about is this seasonal mode provides a good chance for you to practice out, get used to some cards, but it's fast. It's really fast. So basically, we just like look for what we want. We are missing Ragnar. We've got him. Perfect. Artificer's here. Lady of the Lake is here. We got Drummer and Stringer. So I think we are good. Finish redrawing. I mean, it's gonna go by lightning fast. I mean, look, his turn is almost already over. So you got to pick what you want to put out and just go ahead and get at it. He's going first, so I'm actually gonna play Matahuri just so we can get her going. Actually, we're gonna play Karak City Guard here. We'll go to melee. Whole reason for that is just so we can get Imki off of her row. But Vicious Slash is going to deal 8 damage, give bleeding to the surrounding units. So we just have to be a little proactive about how we go about that. He's playing Horde. He's at 6 coins. He's going to get to 8, so he's going to get out his Flying Redanian. He's probably pretty happy about that. Is what it is for us. There we go. He gets out what he wants. We're just going to move Imki off. She's just too many passive points. And we're just going to get our boosters out. We don't have our Tridum Infantry. We don't have Pastodi. That's true. But we do get this passive point boost right here. I'm thinking Matahuri right now just so we can get our other 9-point card in the event that it's Siri. It's not, it's Reynard, which is fine. Could also sub in like a Lyrian Scytheman would work well for this. Basically just think like all things that you want to have right away that you don't have to do much about to change. I don't know. That's a really complicated way of saying what I just said, but let's actually go ahead and throw down Reynard. Now, Reynard works really well for this because he's just going to boost the units that get played. I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything else other than just play the units. But we've already taken a lead on him. He needs to spend his coins to stay up. But you got to be careful about running Horde in this scenario just because it's going to be such a danger zone. Let's go ahead and get out this Artificer. I think I probably should have put another card here just because that passive point generation is going to die. But that's okay. See if we can't get out his poisons. Just gotta be quick. You never want to kill off Flying Redanian when they have their card count up. It can just be really bad. But we went on evens. Technically odd cards, I guess. So we can't dry pass. We do need to bleed, but I'm pretty happy with what we have here. Lebiota is phenomenal. Donamir makes this almost broken. Kadwani Cavalry is actually really good. I think we are pretty happy. I'm going to try to keep Stranger and Sanreal if we can. But let's go ahead and throw out Immortals. We missed both of our Resilience characters in Vandegrift and Ciri, so that's unfortunate. So this deck is pretty fun because you do get 2 of those characters. We're just going to get rid of that Dire Mutated Hound. Don't want to mess with it. Too many points. This deck is shy on removal, but removal is really difficult to use with the seasonal. And anybody who's using it is kind of using like wham bam thank you ma'am removal. And these shields are going to play around that really nicely. Poor move right there. He might not have known what he was doing. So now we can play the Sanreal on Lady of the Lake. He goes ahead and passes. There's no way to get around that. Those shields are big. They're nasty. And the fun thing about this is some people are like, can we do more games? And I hear you. And I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do this kind of best of both worlds. I personally don't like really long YouTube videos. I like to like watch them when I'm on a walk with my son and kind of think about what I want to do. I'm not a huge fan of really long YouTube videos, but I do like seeing multiple games. And so what I'm thinking, I'm trying to think through how I can do that. But today we're able to do like, we could do like 3 of these games in a half-hour video, at least. They're just, I love this. I love this mode. I honestly kind of hope that they'll keep it. I'd previously, in a previous video, talked about how I'd like to see some more PvE content where we could just like test out decks or solve mental puzzles, really similar to Thronebreaker. But in Gwent, I mean, I honestly would like pay money to do that if they just wanted to charge for that content. It's because I really like the game. I think it's like a really fun thing to do, and I just like to spend some more time in a not so intense competitive environment. Okay, we got 1 boost here. I'd like to get another boost on her. Let's cycle this back. Let's cycle him in. There we go. Got Reynard and Donamir. Off the books is an interesting one. If you get both your Bakers, you can actually get a decent number of coins. So let's go ahead. I just like these Carrick City Guards. It pressures the opponent. Can force a removal to get used. Can also do some decent damage. One thing to note with Lebiota, obviously Shield's not going to proc on Veiled units. So not something you have to be entirely concerned about. Alright, cool. Now we can do like Reynard next to Mata and then drop Kira next to both of them. We have a few options. Or we can do Kira on Stranger. Lots of or on Tridem Infantry. Certainly not restricted as to what we can do here. I give a Veil to a unit who already has a shield is a really smart choice. I like that. Yeah, let's actually go Lebiota here. Then we can put a shield on Reynard when he comes down. I think Scytheman is probably the thing that's missing from this deck, if we're being honest. It's just like so many boosts. Oh, and you gotta be careful. Like, he just loses a card here. Bad move. You gotta be fast. You gotta be really fast. And this might just put this round away for us. And you might say, oh, he still has 7. Well, that's because we played Mata, so we both each have more cards, right? I really like this Lebiota play with Stranger and Odo. She comes out, gets boosted, gets a shield. Really hard to play around. So lots of fun stuff you can do there. We're just going to go ahead and pass here too. And this is an excellent bleeding deck. Honestly, you could probably play this deck just on ladder. Right now, there's so much removal. The shields play really well against removal. They're just like, it's really hard to deal with when you're used to playing some really mean cards. Okay, perfect. We got Siri Nova, we got Drummer, we got Tridem. I think Sanreal is probably the least helpful here. I would like to have seen Ragnar, but not the end of the world. I think we're going to just go ahead and drop down Donimir, just to give Siri some cover. And he is 7 points. Nova is 8. Lady of the Lake is 7. So Kira plays just really well between each of these cards. Just crazy points. But here I think we're actually going to play Tridem. With Kira, and then we can slot in Temerian Drummer after, just to get a sense of what's going on. Decent number of crimes. He's got like a single target, so we know where that damage is going to land, so that works for us. Donimir is going to be a bunch of points. So we might see a poison come down or some other type of removal. If he doesn't have poisons, this Donimir is going to be really tough for him to get rid of. We're just going to keep the love coming. So long as we're keeping this distance, I'm not super anxious about even going down a card. Especially since we're going to slot Siri Nova in here, and she's just going to rack up the points. Dire Mutated Hound is annoying, as you guys know. So we're going to just go ahead and get rid of it. Don't even really need to think twice. Then I think we're going to go ahead and slot in Siri Nova. And we could get some more points off Donimir, but this is the last round we're getting points off Tridem, so I think we're just going to go ahead and pass. And just kind of pray to get Ragnar. Oh, these cut-up lackeys would play really well against Immortals. This is just too slow a tempo. He keeps just going deeper and deeper in on this. Oh, both of those procced against Siri, so that hurt. But nothing he can do. Nothing they can do. Again, I think this would be good on ladder. Why don't you guys try it out? Let me know what you think. But I think, you know, I think you can do some really cool stuff here. I think we can have a ton of fun, and it's just a really fun deck to play. And I'm going to do one more to see if we can even get to a Ragnar play, just because you can get so much points off of him. And we got time in this video. This is just, I love this as a content creator. It's just a fun way to showcase a new format of the game. I think it's, there's a reason why it's remembered as one of the most fun seasonal modes. Let's just make it permanent. Just make it permanent. Make it another option. I mean, it's already coded. I don't see any reason why we need to wait a year to do this again. People who don't like it don't have to play it. It's not ranked, none of that stuff. So we got Ragnar. We got these boys. We don't need two of them. This is an excellent Ragnar moment. So we're going to just finish this up. We've kind of got like everybody we need for it. Overwhelming Hunger. I think you guys have seen my Hungry Tempo deck. I'm expecting all of those plays to be made. So if he grabs one of these Kedwenny Cavalry, they can be really nasty. Instead here, I think we're just going to go for one of them, though, just because everybody else is a little higher points, and if he wants to spend to grab them, he can go for it. just winning games. People are terrified of our shields. Terrified. Here I haven't played all that much on PC because I was out of town too. But I'm getting all these achievements. Ragnar is so terrifying. You're gonna win all your games just for including it in your deck. No, not really, but you could. I mean, it's just no stress. If you get lined up against somebody, you want to test out your deck against someone you don't like. You really want to see how Ethereal is going to work against Northern Realms. You can just keep queuing. You don't have to worry about forfeiting in game when you know that it's a bad matchup. I know that bothers some people, but for me, there's some helpfulness in the stress release of that. Don't need Artificer. Everybody here has got shields. And we probably don't need a second drummer. Nova plays really well here. Well, let's see what he has in Ethereal. Not much we can do to stop it, but we can probably outpace it. Phantom is really good because it forces some type of removal to be used to stop him as a passive engine. A little bit like Dire Mutated Hound, but instead of the armor just adding 2 points, it just makes it so it doesn't do anything, period. Would have been nice, I guess, to have had our shield buff there, but we do have it in San Real, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Now, if he had like Predatory Dive, we're going to be in trouble. Doo-doo is nice here. Smart move, I think. Well, I think we're just going to outpace him on boosts, so. Smart to proc that shield. Reynard is kind of like a mini Thrive character too. I mean, he's just going to play on each unit that gets played, so it's not going to proc like these large numbers of units. But it works alright. Now here, I think we're actually just going to go ahead and drop down Siri. She keeps us in it. And let's just go ahead and toss up a bleed here. Why not? Force him to make some tough choices. Oh, there's his Siri Nova. Look at that. Tit for tat. I am loving that. Making rhymes. He got boosted when he got played, so now he's got 2 passive point engines. Triggering all his thrives, dropping down all his meaty characters. And I think we're just gonna go ahead and give this a pass. It's tough to do your math in these tight situations, but I think this is a little bit hard for us to stick in this. really want them to do an article on order of operations. Like, he gets the boost and then the bleed triggers, but sometimes for other characters it doesn't work the same way. So I just don't understand it, and I'd really like to. We are down points, so Shields and Ragnar might be really helpful this round. Egmund is probably not the most helpful. Madahuri is probably perfect. We just gotta play her before he passes. We're basically gonna get Lebiota or Kira, I think. And we avoid that bleed just because she has Veil. And Kira is great here, just a bunch of points. So at this point, we're just kind of trying to suss out how much he wants this. This ethereal play I don't love. I mean, he's just getting 1 point, and then this nets out to nothing right there, right? So play our Kira. So if he were to pass, we're gonna win. I always forget this. So one thing, remember the Veil prevents vitality. Not all of us can be geniuses. Ooh, I do like this Necker play. So you get one and then the other one at the end. That's a little bit better. I like that. That's a decent heads-up play. At this point, I know I'm just going to have to play. So we're just going to be going Immortals and then probably Immortal Cavalry last with Ragnar. Keep Donimir just for decent points in final round. But the longer he plays into this, the better chance I have. He honestly should probably be getting out of this now. And he played this in the wrong place. So I somewhat expect a pass at this point. Because if this ethereal gets too far, he's going to lose that point. This to him probably feels like, that guy has no chance. So think about this. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 points, 19 points, 21, 23, 25. 25 points. It's 59. Boom, 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 boom. We steal his shield from Ciri, too. So we're just going to go ahead and pass. That bounces back to you real quick. But we keep Donimir in hand. He's used his Ethereal. He's used his Pugo. He's used his Goliath. He is in a rough spot with cards right now. Alzor's Thunder has come out. Let's see what we are missing. Vandegrift and Lebiota might be nice. So let's go ahead and tuck that away. Put that away. Alright, not the greatest choices here. Oh, but Lady of the Lake is going to be good just to proc a shield on Tridem, prevent them from getting damage. But basically just heads up at this point. Whoever has better cards. Naglfar's Crew's not a terrible choice. We'll let her take damage and then we'll put Donimir down. And then give him an extra shield after he takes the damage. Interesting to see them get played with Drowners instead of Bruisers, though. I think it probably would have been a better choice. That wasn't the greatest choice in the world. Although it's she's kind of like the only target he's ever going to get this game, so. Hammerfool. Osriel's decent here, but a little long. You don't want these cards that you have to make decisions on. You run into chances of missing out, so just a little bit of danger zone there. And he takes the win with the Osriel. So, something we probably should have been a little bit more thoughtful of. I had forgotten all about Osriel. For some reason, I thought he was a 10 provision card, but he is only 9. But anyway, fun times, fun games. You can make really good plays with Ragnar, as you saw. It took us a few games to queue into it, but we had 3 out of 4 games we won. So really great play. You can see it is a little bit weak in the very short round there if you've used your Kira improperly on that Veil with Ciri, but I think you guys will enjoy this deck. And let me know if you have other thoughts, suggestions, whatever, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. But until then, good luck on the path. Get out there and keep on Gwenting.